to another episode of Let's Be Honest with Honesty J. Edwards. Today I have a very special guest. I have Miss La'Nesha Frazier, of Bliss Books and Wine.
Yes.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent.
I'm really excited to have you on today. This is a Black-owned bookstore. Book bar.
It's a bookstore and a wine lounge. So it's both. So a bookstore and a book bar. Yeah.
So do you have to get a liquor license to have?
I did have to get a liquor license.
Woo, down in Midtown?
Mm-hmm.
I hear that's not very easy.
Took me over a year. Took a year and a half.
But you got it.
Had to change some laws, but I got it.
I bet you did.
Mm-hmm.
When did the store open?
February of 2023 is when the store opened.
Okay, and did you have your license when you opened?
Yes, it was supposed to open before that. And so we had to fight that for the liquor license.
Okay, let's back it up. Because I already want to talk about how I want to go back to, and this free conversation, I want to go back to your childhood.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Let's talk about it. So when you were a girl, what were you into? What did you think you was going to be when you grew up?
I mean, are you asking me if I would read a lot? No, I never thought that I would own a bookstore. So I went to school for physical therapy. So I knew my sophomore year in high school that I was going to be a physical therapist. Did I think that I was going to open up a bookstore? Absolutely not. I did not like to read. Believe it or not, I hated reading. My mom and my sister were the book nerds. I didn't start reading until I graduated from grad school. You could not pay me to read a book.
And what drew you? So hold on, and I introduced her as the owner of Bliss. But hold on, this is a multifaceted woman here. You understand me? Because she owns that, and she's a physical therapist as well. So I want to talk about that too.
Yeah.
And so how did you know you wanted to get into physical therapy? Was that like a thing you like knew as a child? You like working with people, or?
I had a cousin who had cerebral palsy. And so I went to a couple of sessions with her with physical therapy, and I was like, I could do that. And I was like, oh, I get to boss people around and tell them what to do and make them feel better. That's me. I mean, I guess that's the Virgo in me, apparently.
You get to boss people around and help them?
Sold. And so after that, I went to a couple sessions with her, and then I started doing my own therapy with her outside of her therapy, and I was just sold. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
How old were you when you were doing that?
I don't know, baby. I'm 40 now. I don't know how long ago that was. Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. Where did you grow up in Kansas City? What part of the city?
South. So I went to Grandview High School.
Grandview High School. Okay. You was one of them out south girls.
I was one of them out south girls.
I was too. I'm just talking. So I had a guest on here the other day that was from the 30s. And so I told her that my family house is from the 30s. And I was like, do I get a sound from the 30s? And she was like, no.
No.
She's like, you ain't spend enough nights. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I grew up on right off Gregory in the Raytown area.
Oh, yep.
So yep. So I was an Out South girl too. Brooke was an Out South girl too. Shout out to the Out South girls.
Shout out. So I did Grandview and Ruskin. So I went to Ruskin for a year, and then I graduated from Grandview. So
how was your upbringing?
Great. I loved it.
Was you a mama's girl, daddy's girl?
I am a daddy's girl through and through. So I'm his twin. So it was great. So I'm the youngest. So me and my sister both own the bookstore. And so I have an older sister who's my partner.
At?
She doesn't live here. She lives in Virginia.
It's crazy to me, in other community and other cultures, it is like secondhand nature for them to work with family.
Within family.
With brothers, sisters. And a lot of other culture, like even in American culture, we are taught to turn 18 and move out your parents' house.
Correct.
Where in other cultures, they stay there until they get married or whatever.
And they build up wealth
and
that way.
build and work as a unit. That's not in our thinking. And we feel like it's a indication of failure when you're with your parents for so long or whatever.
Correct, right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it does feel that way.
And that's, to me, that's just it's a very westernized way of thinking, right? And so even a lot of times in our community, siblings, cousins are competing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I opened a bookstore. Oh, I opened a strip club. Oh, I opened a gas station. But the thought process of unity and coming together, putting our minds together, it's not as significant and solid as I would like it to be. Sometimes too, I think it's people chasing chicks. If you chasing a check, you don't have time to be creative.
Yeah.
You stressed out. 8, 5, sleep 8, 5, sleep, 8, 5, sleep. Where do you
have time to be creative? Yep. Yeah. And come up with ideas. Yeah. I came up with this idea ages ago. I sat on this idea for a very, very long time. I think it got to the point where my sister and my husband were just tired of me talking about it and not doing anything. And they were just like, oh my God, just do it already. And so.
How did you involve your sister? Because that I want to talk about that. So that's dope.
So Dream Baby, is my dream. And so again, I'm talking to her about it and she was just like, okay, do it. And I was just like, well, you want to do it with me? And she was just like, I'll do it on the back end, because I had to go to business classes and stuff like that to kind of figure out, because that's a whole big shift from physical therapy to owning a bookstore.
Yeah, any type of business.
They're nowhere near the same. And so she became my partner. And so she does a lot of the back end stuff. So my sister is, by trade, she's in tech and computers.
Oh, you got the right one. You got the right one.
And I don't know anything about those things. Right. Physical therapists work with my hands. Right. So all of that stuff, that's her, all the tech stuff, all the website, all of those types of things. So, and it works well because I'm an extrovert and she's an introvert. So she wants to be behind the scene. And so she's doing all of that stuff behind the scenes as well. So
when I looked it up, I looked at your presentation on the internet and I was like, oh, I'm like you. You couldn't get me to read a book. Like, I very much prefer movies, things that I could watch. Like, I needed like a visual sort of thing. So I do like books, but they didn't like grab me. But my sister, she lives at a bookstore. Yeah. And so like when I told her that there was a Black-owned bookstore, she was like, where, when, how do I get there? I showed her your presentation. And she was like, this looks good. I said, this looks really good. So now I know it's fire because you got a tech sister that's behind it, building it. You should see my website right now. It's embarrassing.
Uh-oh.
Like, because we try to build it ourselves. Me and my mom try to build it ourselves, and that's not my thing.
I know nothing about that type of world. That's not me.
Even as a director, like I was just telling my people here, I was like, I don't do the technical. You give me an actor, let's go. I know what it's supposed to look like at the end of it, but like actually doing the technical stuff ain't mine.
And that's how we work. It's just like I have the ideas. I want to do this, and she's just like, well, financially, we need to make it work. I don't know. Because I want to do this. I want to do Girl Scout cookies and wine pairing. And she was just like, well, you have to talk to the scout leader. But I don't care. Let's just do Girl Scout cookie and wine pairing. So we work. We balance each other out pretty well.
And long distance. So do you do all the day-to-day operations? Wow. How big is your staff?
It is me.
Listen, hold on. Did y'all see that? She didn't even have to answer me. I already knew, because you know what? Because I feel that struggle. A lot of times, when you have your own business, when you're starting your own business, it is you versus you.
Yes.
You don't have the help.
I have a little bit of help. So my sister-in-law, we're keeping it all in the family. So my sister-in-law is my store manager. So she's my general manager. She's also my events coordinator. But she does it part-time because she has a full-time job as well. And so if she wasn't there, Lord Jesus, I don't know where I would be. And so she's there. And so she's employed. Her husband, which is my brother-in-law, is a bartender for me when I needed him on times. Then my sister is in Virginia.
Wait, he come down to the bookstore and throw them together? That's so dope.
So we're all there. So we all do some bartending. They're the mixologists. I could pour wine. I could tell you about the wine. But if you want a mixed drink, I ain't got it.
Right.
So, but then behind the scenes, really, the real MVP of Bliss Books and Wine is my mom.
Your mama,
she don't get paid at all, but she is like clutch. Like she knows everything about the square and all that stuff, like the register. Like if something don't work, I'm like, Mama, I can't get this to work. She's like,
really?
Done. Like I'm just like.
So your mom's computer savvy too?
Yes. My mom and my sister are computer savvy.
So it's a lot of women behind the scenes pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Mama, sister.
Sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
Yeah.
That's really, really dope.
I'm not trying to bash the guys because they dope too.
But we're here to talk about us. We all right.
Yeah.
We all right.
Yep,
we all right.
Yep.
So when you come down to Bliss, can I call it Bliss? Are we on
Absolutely.
nickname
People call it
basis?
Bliss. Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if I had to do the full government name.
No, that's long. Nope.
Yeah. What do I expect?
Well, it is an environment where you can come by yourself or you can come with a group of people. But so I did it for both introverts and extroverts, right? So let's put my sister in mind. She's an introvert. So she can come in, she can grab her book, she can go in a corner somewhere, she can read, she can have a glass of wine, right? And she could be left alone if she wants to. For me, I sit at the bar. I talk to people. So if I'm coming, I'm sitting at the bar, I'm talking to whoever's pouring, I'm drinking, I'm doing all this stuff. I may stop and read a book. I do like to do that, but I'm more of the extrovert. So I'm going to bring my girlfriends and I'm meeting up. So you can do that as well. So we have a couple of places where you can kind of sit, a gathering place for like 6 to 7 people, or we have individual chairs where you can kind of sit off into. We have a podcast room where people can come and record their podcasting.
Wow. Yep. Do you get a lot of people to come in and do that?
Not as much as what I hope. So hopefully that can kind of
It's going to pick up. Yeah, podcast. What else? I'm sorry.
We have a book club room and a conference room where people can come and do that and, you know, talk about their books or have meetings. And then we have, this is my favorite room. It's called the Tranquility Room.
What's that, girl?
I know. I love it. It's a place where people kind of go and do like yoga, meditation, journaling, wherever you need to do to kind of decompress and just kind of get back in alignment takes place in that room.
So now, look, we making business connections on camera. I don't care. This is what it's about. It's about women coming together with their businesses. I need to introduce you to my sister.
Oh, yes.
My sister is a yoga teacher.
We do yoga there every third Saturday. Yep, every third Saturday and every first Sunday.
If I tell her you're doing yoga in a bookstore.
Oh, because she loves to read, right.
She loves to read. She's a yoga instructor. Yeah. She's going to try to figure it out. But I'm not just saying this because she's my sister, but she really is amazing. Like, you go to her class, she speaks affirmations. She
I love that.
I mean, light and love. She's really dope. And she's really, really into, like I said, like Black-owned anything business. So I'm going to give you her number before we get out of this interview.
Please do.
Because anywho. Yeah, yes. So a tranquility room?
Yes, I love it. I created that for me.
Like, at this point, the sale is like getting me hyped.
Good.
Like, so do we dress up or do we just...
You can come as you are.
Do people come dressed up?
Sometimes.
Do people come on dates?
People come, so and I try to explain to people, think of a coffee shop, but with wine. So people come and work there too. They attach to the Wi-Fi and they just sit there and they work. They have meetings. And when they go off camera, they sip wine and go back down, you know? So it's for everything. It's whatever you need to do to find your bliss is what I try to provide.
Would you ever add food?
Yes and no. So I don't want the responsibility of a kitchen, of the health permit. Me and the city, we don't like each other. But we are gonna do. we don't.
Be honest. She said she got funk with the city.
Me and the city, we don't like each other. It was just a battle. But we are we're partnering with Chef Shanita. I don't know if you know who she is.
I would love to know her.
She's the Prospect KC, so right there off of 18th and Vine. She has a restaurant. But she's right there next to Vine Street Brewing Company, which is the first Black-owned brewing company. So beer.
Why don't I know these things?
It's right there on 18th and Vine.
I feel like I don't know anything about, I go between Atlanta and LA in here because I work in, film and TV. So I always feel very green in my own city. Like,
that's okay. I mean, because so much stuff is popping up all the time and I love it. I love the growth that we're doing.
And it's a lot of, in the last, almost like post-COVID. It's just kind of...
We exploded, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a lot of opportunity here. Like, my friends want to come here and check it out. I'm like, you want to check out Kansas City?
You want to come here? Yeah.
Come on in.
So they're right next to each other. I call them the ruins. So if you ever see it from 71 highway, it's the ruins, the little castles that you can kind of see from the highway. And so it has that brewing company there, and it has Chef Shanita's restaurant there. And so she also teaches kids and students how to prepare and eat healthy and do all these stuff. So she kind of teaches and mentors students. And so what they're going to do is they're going to make me charcuterie boards. And they're going to package it up. And we're
so you can just get one and you unwrap it and you just eat. And
you just go.
You got little nibbles, but you don't have the stress of a kitchen.
Correct.
I need to meet her too.
Yeah, she's dope.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I can't wait to... So let's get into for the business folks. What did you have to go through to get this... somebody just really wants
my wine. Which one? No.
Listen, you for real? Because...
No, I'm just saying, I had to go through a lot.
Running a business, your own business, where you cut the checks, it is a whole nother animal, another stress. And so I like to get into the like nasty parts of it. Like if you could summarize in a way that you feel like people that are interested in opening their own business are people that are interested in a business as yours to help them, to kind of give them a little seeds and a little tokens.
Yeah. I like to say this, and I say it in a lot of different interviews, but it's like running a business, opening up a business is like a walk in the park. Jurassic Park. Like,
Girl.
It's a lot
T-Rex.
of things. Like, it's just like, watch out. Oh, okay. You know, and it's just like, and I have like, they say open a business. They say do this. Who is they? And they did not prepare me for all of this stuff. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But if you could remember why you did it. And so that my first business teacher, her name is Kira Shuri. She's like my mentor. She's amazing. She runs EBB. And so it teaches entrepreneurs about business basics, basically. And so when we were in there, she always kept saying, remember your why. If you can remember why you do it, you can kind of overcome just about anything. And so, like I said, it was a big jump from physical therapy to opening up a business. And so I took her classes.
How did that happen though? When was I'm going to do a bookstore?
So, like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time. And so, and my husband at the time, he was just like, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do it, you know, because I'm safe. I'm secure as a physical therapist, right? I have a career. There was no risk involved. I knew what I was getting into. And so I had a lot of pushback for a very long time to open up the business. I was just scared. I was scared of the risk. And he was just like, take the jump, do it. I got you, take it. Like, stop, quit, right? And I'm just like, nah. And so I'm religious. I believe in God and all these things. But
you got the right one. Let's go.
There we go.
Openly.
And so God was just like, trust me. And I was just like, no. And he was like, okay. I'm going to make you so uncomfortable at your job that you have no choice but to take this step. And I fought him for like 2 or 3 years. I fought God and I fought my husband.
That's a long time to fight God, girl. That's a long time to fight God.
And it got to the point where I was in the bathroom crying in between patients because I was just so stressed out. And he made it so uncomfortable for me that I had no choice but to trust him and take this leap. Like, that's how I did it. Like, it was not willingly. It was through crying. You had to drag me.
You are inspiring me right now. Because I'm going through a phase in my life right now where everything has been cut off. And it's not, it's weird. It's like, it makes no sense. Like, why is that being taken away? Why is this being taken away? And it is so strange. Like, stuff don't even make sense. And I was talking to my mother about it. And she was like, oh, baby, God wants your attention.
Absolutely.
There is something that he has for you. Evidently, you done walked off into your little path.
And so he's like,
let me take this away. Right, took it away. And so I'm like, I love hearing this because that's where I'm at right now. I said, okay, God. It was 3 months for me. You did 2 years, girl. Woo!
And I told him. I
told him no. Shit, girl. That's why you got a successful business, because you are bold.
I told him, I'm like, you're going to have to make it real uncomfortable. And he said, okay.
And he will.
And he did,
He
girl.
will.
It was stressful. I was sick. Like, my hair was falling out. I was miserable. Not just because I was a physical therapist, not because I hate it, because I still do it. I love being a physical therapist. He was just like, you don't trust me? Yeah, God trusts you, but I don't trust you enough to take this leap, right? And he was just like, oh, okay. And so, like, my husband was just like, I got you. Like, you can quit today, and we will be okay. And I was just like, no. And he was just like,
shout out to supportive husbands.
Shout out. And so he was just like, trust me. So I didn't trust him. I didn't trust God. Like, I was just so scared. I was very fearful. Like, it was scary for me to take that leap. But I did.
It is. But see, that's the thing. I feel like we are conditioned to think small.
Yeah.
In Western civilization, we are taught to live in a system, survive in a system.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You
go work for somebody else.
Yeah, you follow the butt in front of you. It's all mass control.
Yep.
They want to control us. They don't want to give us enough space and opportunity to find our purpose. And so we're limited in our thinking. And the thing is that God is not of this world. He is not controlled by this world. He's not controlled by the rules of this world. So when you are able to just fall into his arms and trust him, it is liberating.
Absolutely.
It's like a high that you cannot explain, because it's like you're tapping in. We're getting weird now. I hope you're okay.
I'm okay with
but
that.
It's almost like you're tapping into another world. They don't go by these rules.
Correct. Because he doesn't go by the rules.
He don't go by those
rules
rules.
is going to contain them.
He does not. And the thing is, it's weird because when I find myself letting go and you know, they say you want to make God laugh, make plans. But when I get out the driver's seat, get in the passenger seat and just let him drive, it's crazy how things happen just the way I need them. Like I need 0.56 decimals to get to this point. And it'll be like 0.57. I mean, just this is God.
Nothing but
him. And the thing is, a lot of us never are able to reach our purpose because our minds are cluttered with all this fake propaganda. The media tells us what matters.
Absolutely.
Oh, this car, this house.
Your identity. You get wrapped up in all of that stuff with your identity.
That dies here and stays here when you die.
Absolutely.
You can't say none of that to the grave.
I was just like, so if I'm not a physical therapist, then what am I?
Yeah.
Like, you want to take that away? I've been at school for so long. Like, that's who I identified as. I am a physical therapist. So if you take that away, then what am I? I had to really work through that and figure out who I was if I wasn't a physical therapist.
Man, how'd you do that? How'd you work through it? You already knew, did you already know you wanted to do the bookstore?
I mean, for like 10 years, yeah.
Yeah. And so then how did he answer you?
Therapy. A lot of therapy. I still go to therapy. I love therapy. So
girl,
therapy.
let's talk about that.
Yes.
Because that has been, I think we're getting away from that, but that's been so taboo in the Black community.
Absolutely. I love it, girl.
Because, I mean, I ain't gonna call no names, but mom and daddy, y'all know in the church, it was the devil.
Everything was the devil.
It was the devil because you weren't going directly to God or Jesus or whatever. It was the devil. And I don't believe that.
Yeah, no.
I enjoy therapy. And I think that more people from our community, more ladies, should tap into it.
I think everybody should tap into therapy.
Yeah.
So our parents, their generation did not, I don't know if they didn't have access to it or if they didn't have resources for it, but they don't believe in therapy.
Are your parents boomers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our generation.
Just like they can't swim.
Correct. My kids can't swim.
I love you, Mama. I love you, Daddy, but y'all know y'all can't swim.
My dad can swim. He was a lifeguard. He was a lifeguard. My dad can swim. My mom cannot.
Yeah. But the thing, a lot of it is fear.
Yes.
They were fear-mongered. You got to remember, our parents are maybe 2 or maybe 3 generations outside of slavery.
Yeah.
And
fear.
It's fear.
And so you have to overcome, again, fear was stopping me from opening up the store. Fear was stopping me from relying on my husband to support the household by himself. Like, oh, you gonna quit your job and you gonna rely on your husband? Oh, girl, you should always have your own money. You should always, it was that fear. It was that mind frame. It was just like, I have a husband that's willing to basically die for me so I can achieve my dream, my goal.
That's a blessing.
It's just fear. Fear is the biggest hang up over everything. So people feared going to therapy. Why? Because you're going to go to therapy and you're going to hear that you messed up or something's your fault, and we don't want to hear that. So
that's one of the biggest issues. I had another young lady on, Miss Melissa, and we were talking about the crime in the city. And she was like, but at what point do we look in the mirror? And it's true. And that is with anything. You know what I mean? Like I over the last 2 years, I've been through some things where I had to look in the mirror and say, hey, it's you.
It's you. You the problem.
You're right there. And it's hard until you get to a level of maturity. It's really, really hard to do that. But once you do and start working on it,
it's the working on it. It's the working on it. I mean, I still have aha moments from something, and I'm just going to put for something that my husband said maybe like 2 years ago. I could be driving and go, oh, snap, that's what he was talking about. Like, it was like, guess I got to go back and apologize about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it's just growth and understanding, but I would have never gotten there without therapy.
Yeah.
So
you went into therapy, and then tell me the steps, like into...
So therapy helps you, with identity. I had to figure out who I was going to be without physical therapy, how that was going to affect my family and things along that nature, and just kind of be okay with that. I also started these business classes with Kira, where Kira is also like a pastor. And so she says things in a way that it's business, but it's spiritual, if that makes sense. And so she's always like, think higher, think bigger.
Who is this?
Her name is Kira.
Kira
Shuri.
She's here?
She just moved to St. Louis, but she still has classes here too.
Amazing.
But she's always like, think higher. What does that mean? And all this stuff. So I just met with her again, maybe like this week, and I walked out of there snotting and crying because she got myself together real quick, and she was just like, you gotta release control. You're trying to control too much in your business, and I bet you're doing that in your life too. And I just be like,
convict you.
I said, oh.
Tell you the truth.
She said, and I bet you're doing that in your marriage too. Can we go back to talking about this business,
right?
please?
Yeah.
But you need that. You need that in your life. Somebody that can do all of those things and just kind of wrap you up real quick and set you on the right path. So,
because it's a balance, right? Like you can't just have a business and then not deal with other aspects of life.
Correct, because it's a part of everything.
It's a part of it. And that's one of the biggest things that I've been praying about and working on is balance. Like balancing a business and personal life and myself.
Yes.
Because if you're a workaholic, sometimes you lose yourself. You don't take care of yourself. You're so busy working. So understanding that all these things, you got to figure out how to, split your time.
Yep.
and stay level-headed.
And set priorities.
Yeah. Prioritizing. Prioritizing and delegating are two things that I really struggle with.
Yep. Same.
That I'm trying to get better at. But because I feel like in film, I can't do it by myself. Like you was in here watching us.
Yeah.
Like there was no way that I could do all that by myself. But oftentimes, I know I'm gonna do it right because I care about it. And so it's like, but it's like, no, because that's another thing about God. He'll send you the people to help you.
Absolutely.
If you ask him, if you believe, he will send you the people, he'll send you the community. And building the team is one of the hardest parts. Which is why I really commend you, because you kept it in your family. You built it with your family. Anyway, let's go back. Okay, so now, see, you are in therapy. We're talking about your first steps to the business. They're talking about, before you even get into it, balance. Balancing your love life, your family. And how many children do you have?
2. We have 2 kids.
2.
A boy and a girl.
Oh, beautiful. American dream. Look at you. So balancing. So once you get that, and once you wrap your head around it, what happens? How do you keep moving forward to get this business going?
I took another business class, believe it or not. I mean, I've been to school for physical therapy for so long. I'm a forever student, if that makes sense. So I did that, and I felt that I was good. But you can always be better. So I took another business class with the Porterhouse KC, and this time my sister joined it. It was around COVID at that point. And so it wasn't in person, so it was all Zoom, so she can kind of join in. So now we're both getting on the same page, and now we just needed that extra step onto, we're really close to opening up this store. What do we do? So we almost opened up the store pre-COVID. It was the month that the world shut down. Is we were looking at a place and we almost signed a lease.
Are you happy about that or not happy about that?
About what? COVID?
Do you feel like if you opened it pre-COVID, you would have been in a better or worse position?
Worse, way worse position. So before COVID, we were doing little pop-ups around the city, trying to test out the concept, oh, we're gonna do a pop-up here, seeing if people like it, seeing if people understand whatever the concept is. When COVID came and shut the world down, everybody was inside. Everybody was bored. And we had to figure out how to pivot. So we can't do any pop-ups or in-person things. So how do we make this better? So then we did everything online. So we did book clubs online. We did author events online. We did paint and sips online. So we partnered up with local artists, and they would ship out canvases, and then we'll get on Zoom,
fun.
and then they'll paint. We partnered with local wineries, and they would ship out their wine, and we'll get on there and do like a wine tasting before we talked about book clubs. So it allowed our creative juices to kind of expand. And with that, because everybody was shut in, I mean, we were getting people from everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
It wasn't just
so you
Kansas
was building
City.
your clientele. Yeah.
So we built up our clientele to where when we opened up the store, I mean, they've been waiting for a very long time for the store.
So it's hype. And we outside.
Yeah, so we outside. So everybody gonna be outside. And so without COVID, I don't think we would be where we are right now, to be honest.
COVID was really weird because COVID, as much damage as it did, it's some things that it changed in this world that I appreciate. And I know that sounds terrible. I mean, my family was forever changed by COVID. So, you know, I mean that in the most sensitive way. Like, my life is different because of COVID. I almost lost a very, very, very close loved one to it. So I know how serious it is. But it's certain things where I think, first of all, I think that it created a bunch of entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Because people really saw that these corporations, these major corporations hitting this clock every day, it was like a twilight, like they woke up like out of a hypnosis.
Yep.
And I was like, what am I doing?
Absolutely.
Like, these people don't care about me. They're not interested. They don't have my best interest at heart.
Correct.
They don't
You're
care
just
about
a
my
number.
health. I am just a number. And this proves they still wanted me to come in when I'm sick. And to this day, people have not gone back to work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then people started hustling.
Yep.
They didn't have no choice. I'm not going back into that job. They started hustling. So I do like that it put me in hustle mode. It really did. But, you know, I'm crazy. I was like, the world is about to end. I'm about to shoot a movie. And I did. I shot a movie called Deadlock. And I really did. Like, me and all my friends was like, all right, well, the world about to end anyway. Let's rent this house. Let's shoot this movie.
That's what's up.
And the movie was very successful.
That's great.
So I really do like that it created it made people step out of their norm.
Yep.
And create.
Yep.
Like you. So COVID is over. Did you have a grand opening?
We did.
I wish that was lit.
It was great. We did a small one on February 17th last year, and it was just like family and close friends, and then we did a very large one for the public on the 18th.
Was it hard getting into that building in that part of town?
Yes. I mean, it was a lot of back and forth. We were searching for a lot of buildings and different spaces. Like, when we found this building, I knew that was the space that I wanted. It had everything on the list. Like you said, when it's that way, he's going to everything that you wanted filled. That's where it was. Like, I knew I wanted a space with 3 rooms. I had 3 rooms. I knew I wanted a big office and it had an extra storage. I had a big office that had extra storage. Like, it had all of these things that I needed and said that I wanted. So I knew that was a direction.
God had you.
I knew that was a direction that we were supposed to go. But it was like, oh, we're only going to give half of it to you because it was so much money. Right? It was a lot. It was expensive. They called me the female version of Julius off of Everybody Hates Chris. Y'all know the dad. They called me Julia. I'm like, oh, I ain't got that. You know, I'm penny pinching. And then how God works, we got the whole building and we were able to figure out how to come up with the funds. And everything just worked out. It was just everything that I wanted, everything that I envisioned and that I dreamed of. That's what that building was.
God just let you walk right up in there.
Yep. We knew.
Isn't it funny how we have to suffer before we see the light? It's just like everything in the world. If you play a video game, to get to the next level, you gotta suffer. You gotta figure it out. You gotta grind. You gotta fail.
Gotta fail. Oh,
people are so afraid of failing. You gotta wise up. You gotta read. You gotta study. You gotta get the codes. You know that whenever there's a storm, whenever you're feeling down, it's because you're being tested. You're testing out of a level to elevate yourself.
Correct.
And I just try to keep that kind of glass half full type of mentality. It's just interesting to see another sister here and you like, yo, I went through my suffering, but when you let go, the way that them doors can open for you, it's almost miraculous.
It was hurdle after hurdle after hurdles, right? So we had a spot, COVID hit, like all of these things happened. We got the building, it was great, everything that I wanted. couldn't get the liquor license.
How do you apply for a liquor license?
You go to regulated industries and you got to fill out an application. And they, depending on where it is that you are, depending on the population and how many people have a liquor license in that area, basically determines if you can get a liquor license.
They can only have so many in it?
They can only have so many per population, right? And so that's in Midtown. With that radius in that area, you can only have one tavern liquor license. It was 11 grandfathered in. So that meant no new establishment was ever going to get a liquor license ever in that area because it was already 11 grandfathered in when they made that law.
So how'd you do it?
It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and prayers and reaching out. So I remember getting the rejection letter. And I remember my lawyer saying, the only way you can is if you basically change the law. If you get them to redistribute the lines or if you get them to deem this an entertainment area, you know, all these things. And I was just like, I've always been the kid where I don't take no as the final answer. So I met up with Chris Good and I was just like, hey, you know, they said that I need to meet some council members. And he was just like, oh, here's a council member's number. And he gave me their email. And then I just started emailing council members. Like, hey, I need your help. And then I reached out. I'm a part of this. It's a group of Innovate. It's called Innovate Her. It's Innovate Her KC. It's run by Lauren Conway. And so it's just a group of women. So it's on Facebook and things like that. And they do meetups. But it's just women supporting women. Right? There's a lot of boss-ass women, kick-ass women that just get stuff done. All races, all colors. Yeah, it's great.
See, I told you, I don't know nothing.
It's called Innovate Her. Yeah, it's great.
That's so cool.
And so I reached out to them and said, hey guys, you know, we got the building. We did a Kickstarter fund for the building, like all this stuff. And everybody's rallying behind us. I said, but they're telling me that I can't open because of the liquor license. So I need to get in contact with the council member. And they was like, oh, Andrea Boo is a part of the Innovate Her group. And they tagged her in there. Andrea, can you help La'Nesha out? Andrea hit me up. It was just like, here's my cell phone number. Call me. And like, I'm talking to her. She is so down to earth. She was like on her elliptical talking to me. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing. Like, you know, and so she kind of rallied behind me and she was like, we're already kind of working on something similar. I'm just going to bring you into it. And so they got the law and all the wording properly, and we had to go through regulated industries. I had to sit down in their meetings. So with regulated industries, how it's supposed to work is you fill out the application, it's supposed to go in for review, then they send it to the neighborhood, the surrounding neighborhood, and they're supposed to vote. So real old school, they mail it. They mail the
mail it.
They mail the votes.
They ain't got emails.
And so it's a hit or miss because some people are going to just throw it away. Some people are seeing it and then they don't vote. But after they vote, then they mail it back in, and then however many yeses you have versus how many no's, et cetera. So if it's a no, then it has to go back through the process again, et cetera.
Again.
Like it can go back for a review and figure out why it's a no. Like you can appeal the no.
Does it ever get to the point where they're like, just no, and that's it?
I don't know. Hopefully I will never know.
Not for you.
Hopefully I'll never know. But
part.
it's such a process. It's an old school process, but you have to have the community behind you. And so to bypass that, well, to further back myself is we already did that beforehand. So we went to the community because we're in between two schools. And so we went to the principals of those schools and say, hey, we're a store. We're going to open up. We're a bookstore. We're going to have wine, all this stuff. You know, we want your approval so we can make sure that we can open up. And they was just like, great, do teachers get discounts? And they was just like, yeah, and all this stuff. So then they wrote us
letters. Did you have to give them discounts?
Yeah, I gave teachers discounts.
Why not?
But yeah, they wrote a letter. They wrote a letter and sent it to regulated industries on our behalf as well, saying, hey, we approve this business moving in, et cetera. But we still got told no at first until we changed the law and did it that way.
This girl, hold on, let's talk about La'Nesha, okay? She changed the law to get to her dream. What's your excuse? Sorry, I don't know why I'm being so rough right now, but I feel like I need to look into the camera and say that to somebody. Like, she out here changing laws, moving lines. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. It's fierce. I love it. So we've talked about you as a girl and what you were into and your dreams and aspirations. We talked about how hard it was getting this, period. But now that you have it and you live in it, you are a business owner. You ain't talking about it. You ain't, I'm gonna be old school, faking the funk. Brooke, I saw you judging me when I said faking the funk. Yes, I grew up in the 90s. I said faking the funk. You are in it. it is your life. It is your reality. What is your why?
So my why was always to try to create a space where people can go and detach from the world for a little bit. Whether it's reading a book, whether it's just sitting in silence, whether it's having a glass of wine. So my why has been you can come to a community gathering place and discover what your bliss is, whatever that may be, and just
Tubular. You see how she did that? I see what she did right there.
And just have some downtime, have your own time. So my why is to create a community, a place where introverts and extroverts can go and have a place of their own. And also spotlight local artists and talent in Kansas City, because we're very talented here in Kansas City. So I wanted a place where authors can go and say, my book is in that store. I wanted a place where artists can go and be like, my artwork is in that store. I wanted a place where spoken word and musicians and all those people can go and say, hey, I play there every Wednesday, type of thing. Like I wanted a place where we can call our own and just spotlight and embrace our culture.
That's beautiful. What night does the spoken word and the...
So we do every third Wednesday. It's from 7 to 10.
Speak to the younger youth. Mm-hmm. Young girl wants to own a business, wants to be a business owner. What do you need to be doing right now? Say. Let's just talk to anybody. Period. Mm-hmm. Let's not put an age limit on it. 20, 30. But they're wanting to do a business. Maybe they're having the same issues that we had with fear. Mm-hmm. Bywords, things that have been spoken over them their whole life, them not feeling like they're smart enough, resources is not even an option no more. We got so much information at our fingertips. I don't even want to hear that.
Information. You can library is clutch.
And so is YouTube University. Mm-hmm. I mean, check the sources, but I'm saying you have any person in the world that has a cell phone in their house, period, has the resources. Mm-hmm. So fear, hours, not thinking you're smart enough, things like that. Mm-hmm. What would you say to young lady, young man, period?
I mean, you just have to follow your heart and know your why you're doing it. That your why is going to get you through just about anything. You're going to wake up not wanting to do it. You're going to wake up feeling tired. You're going to wake up with hurdle after hurdle after hurdle in front of you. And if you remember your why, you remember your drive, the reason why you're doing it, you're going to overcome those. You're going to find a way. But if you're just doing it just to get money, you're going to falter. Things are going to get too hard. But if you're doing it because it's your passion and that's something, and it's your purpose, and that's something that you really want to do, you're going to find ways to get it done. And so just follow your heart and have a great support system around you. I wouldn't be able to be here without my support system.
What would you say to someone that is, at the bottom of the totem pole? No money, no support system, all by themselves, but they got big dreams.
Do it anyway. I mean, you don't need a support system. Don't get me wrong. It just helps.
If you have it,
great.
Use it.
Right. If you have it, great. But rely on yourself. I mean, you're going to be the one that's starting it. You're going to be the one that's going to pick yourself up and do it. So you got to do it anyway. If it's in your heart to do it, do it. And use the free resources. We have so many free resources. Like you said, YouTube University, but the library is clutch. They have so many free resources. And there's a lot of different resources that spin off of the library that you can go to that is free. Yeah.
That's a word to me, though. Like, this is really convicting me because as a film director, I'm supposed to read. I'm supposed to be well read, learned, and so, no, for real, like, and the thing is, it's strange, like, reading something over hearing it clicks into your mind in a different capacity, and you actually retain things in ways that are different from just hearing it or seeing it. So this is really motivating me. Good. To read. Yes. And so I'm going to come down to your shop, girl, and read. I can't wait.
I appreciate it.
I got a question for you. Marry one.
Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see.
Murder one.
Marry, murder.
Sleep with one.
You used a polite term. Got it. Marry, murder,
we gonna
sleep.
Be my mama watching. So, you know. You ready? Beyonce.
Okay.
J-Lo. Shakira.
Who is Shakira? Like the Latin singer Shakira?
Yeah,
okay. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure.
Like that.
I just want to make sure.
You know, Shakira got the little hip, I love Shakira.
Hips
Yeah,
don't
hips
lie.
don't lie.
So I gotta marry, murder, or okay.
Marry,
This is
murder, sleep
Edie.
with one.
So I'm going to marry Beyonce. I'm going to sleep with Shakira because her hips don't lie. And you know, J-Lo gets on my nerves, so she gotta go.
I like J-Lo.
She's annoying.
What, is it her voice or?
She's annoying.
But she can dance though.
She can dance. That's okay.
I mean, listen.
She doesn't like where she came from. You were a fly girl off of In Living Color. Accept that and then own
What,
it.
she denies it?
She was just like, that wasn't her start. It was your start.
Being a fly girl is dope. Like the fly, I used to be like the fly girls. Like I used to want to be a fly girl.
Exactly.
She tripping. This is the thing. I think that people give J-Lo a lot of. I think they pick on her. Like, yeah, she ain't Whitney Houston. She ain't got them type of vocals like
does
that.
not.
But it's a lot of singers that do not have like a huge range as far as vocals, but they got swag and they. But the thing is, she look just off of how good she looks.
She looks amazing. She looks so good.
Girl, I wish and pray.
She looks good. I'll give you that.
Snow White or Cinderella?
I'm gonna have to go with Snow White with that thing. She had 7 people following her around.
She
had
did.
7 of them joints.
Listen, she woke up
She could pick
nowhere
from
and built
anybody,
it was
yeah.
the leader too. It was the
She
leader.
could pick from here. She had 7 dudes following her around at all times.
Oh, girl, she really did, and serving her.
They're serving her.
All right, how about sneakers or payday?
Snickers.
Oranges or apples?
Well, seeing how I'm allergic to oranges, I have to go with apples.
Naturally.
I love oranges though, but I just can't have it.
Would you rather be catapulted? Let's not do that word. It's not coming off my tongue right. Would you rather be thrown into space, to outer space, to the point of no return, or thrown into the deepest depths of the ocean?
I'm gonna have to say outer space.
I think I do it. The ocean?
I don't want ocean. I say outer space.
No, I'm saying I don't think people understand like the depths of the ocean. Like nobody knows what that is.
I'm gonna be eaten. I don't want to. At least I'm just floating
You're
out
gonna get
in outer
eaten
space.
by a mermaid, by a siren.
I don't
Yeah.
like
Listen, this was amazing. I am so happy that you were able to come on today. I cannot wait to go down to Bliss and bring my sister. I'm gonna bring my yoga sister. I'm gonna come down there. I want to come on a day where I could just really read and be to myself, because that is really important. Like I said, as women, as business women, taking care of yourself sometimes is overlooked.
Yes.
And it's not held in the right regard. Because if you're not in your right mind, if you're not relaxing, if you're not putting into yourself, you can't put out for other people.
Correct.
So I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing, and I am so happy that you were able to come on, talk to some of the people, share some of your experiences, drop some gems, because those are needed.
Thank you.
They are needed.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love it. I can't wait to visit. And it's time for the honesty hour. Okay. So what I want you to do, this is your camera right here.
Boom. All right.
Right there. You see it? I want you to look into that camera. You start with, let's be honest.
Let's be
You give me 60 seconds of whatever you want to say, and I don't care what it is. Just whatever you want to get off your chest, have at it.
Okay. You ready? Oh, okay. Let's be honest. Kansas City. Y'all say that there is nothing to do here in Kansas City, but there's so much things to do here. Y'all just don't want to support. So what are we supposed to do? Like, we open up business after business after business, and y'all don't come. Y'all come for like maybe a day, and then we don't see you for months, and then complain about us closing or not having anything. And then y'all complain about the prices. Lord Jesus, the price is the price, okay? It is expensive to be a business owner. Okay, you got to support and you got to help us out, and you got to pay what it is. We cannot bargain. We cannot discount. We can't cut Cousin Pookie a sale or anything like that. Just pay us, please, the regular price. That's what's going to keep us open. That's what's going to keep bringing in businesses and entrepreneurship to Kansas City. Therefore, you won't have to say there's nothing to do in Kansas City, because it is. You just have to look for it, and you have to continue to support. And that's it. I was just being honest.
You sure you want something else? That's how you made your peace with it?
I made my peace.
All right, girl, she said that. You heard it from Miss La'Nesha Frazier, owner of Bliss Books and Wine. Also a physical therapist. Come on, get you right?
That's right.
Yeah, them elbows and knees. So this is the end of our session. Y'all go check her out. Give me the address.
3502 Gillum Road.
Gillum Road, right in Midtown, right?
Mm-hmm, right in Midtown.
Y'all check her out. Listen, y'all support our people, support our women, support our Black women, support our entrepreneurs, support our business owners. La'Nesha, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Until next time. Be honest. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
That went well. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I kinda like some of the drama, but only the kind that puts commas and bank statements on movie rosters. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I switch when I walk cause I want. Business talk to like Obama. A hater, I feed him the karma. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.